Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
It did not even connect the dots until I looked at the date that this was coming out on a holiday weekend. So,
oh yes, he has risen.
God.
And he blazed. So, you know.
Amen. You know.
It's always fun when those two holidays come on the same day, right?
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga's got to be having a great time at Coachella. Singing Judas, right?
Yeah, this is the apex. This is what it's all about.
That's what we're all here for, right? That's what makes the world go round.
That's right. Weed and Jesus. Those are the things. Amen. And
Amen.
Also with you.
Right, exactly. We gotta cover all of our bases.
Just all the bases, just in case.
Welcome to Into the Twilight.
Ayo.
We're here.
So true.
So true. Hey, we're here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's impressive enough. I think we can all just pat ourselves on the back for that.
Absolutely. I think that is so worth celebrating.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm here. I'm living. I am fighting with government unemployment agencies every day of my life.
Hey, fuck those guys. For real, though?
Which is really cool. Yeah, like, fun fact, something I learned, just because, you know, having, being of transgender experience, things are just so much more paperwork for so many reasons. And so that's been really fun. I'm really having a great time with that. But hopefully we're past the other side. And with that, I've been, as I always do, turning to Garbo beautiful reality TV to just ease my brain and make me not want to kill someone on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay? And this show, Gotta Get Out from Hulu, is just, I don't understand. I'm obsessed with it. Because definitely, like, post-Traitors becoming, like, really popular.
Yeah.
There's been alternative shows from different networks that have trying to do like what if we mix celebrities in a house together or doing competitive challenges together. Like we have House of Villains, we have The GOAT, we have all these different like offshoots of like, what if we can try to make that magic work, but like definitely not without the resources of Peacock, right? So, and I love all of them. I love the worst versions of these types of shows because it's fun. And I do like to see my favorite reality stars have breakfast together because this is the only reason they would ever be in a room together. I love it. And so the concept of the show got me because of that, and also because it had some of my faves. Demi from The Bachelor, Susan from The Golden Bachelor, my love, Cynthia Bailey, of course, bunch of different, Spencer Pratt, great, Kim Zolciak, wild person, but I love watching her on television.
Those two is such a galaxy brain to me. Yes. That when I saw it, I just saw like a 5-second clip on TikTok yesterday and was like, whatever you're selling, I'm buying. I'm in.
Right. For sure.
You got Kim back on TV, I'm seeing.
Yeah. It's amazing. And like the concept is essentially, it's like half celebrities and then also just like half normal regular people. So there's like 20 people, which is too many. And they're all stuck in this, like, beautiful giant house, and they are given, like, little secret advantages and escape routes, and this, like, money clock was, like, ticking up. There's, like, no clocks in the entire house. The only way to tell time is just how much money is being added to this pot of stuff, just by sitting there, just by living and existing in there. And if they all, like, chill out for the week and leave together, they all just, like, split the money 20 different ways, right?
Okay.
But if you get, like, little escape routes or like find out secret ways to like open the door or like literally escape and run out of the house and down this giant driveway and drive away, then you can take however much money was in there when you left.
Oh, hell yes. Oh, hell yes.
So it's like escape room, but it's also like people who don't really know how to do that. And also people who want to leave. Like, truly the unsung hero of this show is Kim Zolciak, because I wouldn't have noticed this unless she was here, but this was a dry production. And you know that because she mentions it every 5 seconds that she wants a glass of wine and she can't have one.
That changes things significantly.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And so everyone here is like totally sober and doing like escape room puzzle games, trying to like, you know, cause a distraction or like whatever. And like there's infrastructure within the house to like, if you get a secret code and you're not telling anyone, you're like, okay, I'm going to go this way. This is the time that I leave. This is how I get out, whatever. There's like a big red button that'll like stop and close the gate. So if they reach up to it and they don't make it through, then they're fucked and they have to come back. And then there's like a watchtower. So people are just like posted up looking over the house and seeing if people are running. And they can pull this giant lever that like sends a siren that's like, wee you, Spencer's escaping, right? And so like people are playing like offense and defense, because some people are just like, I want all of it. But some people are like, if someone leaves with this much money and then we all stay here, we look like chumps because then we're going to get like 20K at the end of this or something. And that's not fun. And so like everyone's playing like 7 games at once, and it's so fun.
Okay, so I'm looking at this now. First of all, Omarosa.
God, listen,
oh, no.
I don't know what. She's been on so much reality TV in the last few years, which is a recession indicator, right?
No,
because I'm like, where is the money? Where did the money go, right? Where did the money go? And the whole time during the show, she's like, I need to pay to finish, like, law school. And it's like, girl, why are you on so many television shows right now? Like, where's the money? Where did the money go, Omarosa? I'm confused.
I have so many questions. Second of all, Simu.
Yeah, that is a jump scare. It is unfortunate. I did forget to preface with that, but he's also barely in it. Okay, like, he's more of like a voiceover kind of guy, and then sometimes there'll be like a pre-recorded thing of him being like, here's what happened, and it's like, okay, got it, Okay, good. So he's not really like interacting with anyone. He's just like hosting.
I get why it is a dry space, because this is far more physical than a lot of other spaces. Yeah. But also, holy shit, the idea of some of these people that I'm looking at jumping into bushes and trying to go out of this house is so good.
It's so fun. And it's like, there are people, and it's great because no one here is like, from a Survivor or a Traitors or like any sort of like tactical skill game like that. Like, obviously there's like emotional tactics of like The Bachelor or, all these different shows, Housewives, right? But like nobody is like a strategist in that way. So people are really just like not being subtle with what they're doing or whatever. Like Susan in particular, I love her, but like she gets a clue and she's like, oh my God, I'm so excited to tell everyone that I got a clue. And everyone's like, girl, you just told everyone your plan and we're just going to stop you because you told us the plan. What are you doing, Miss Ma'am?
Okay. All right. I'm in.
It's fun to just watch people try and also just get like stir crazy because they're like, not only is this a dry thing, but they also like literally can't leave the house unless they escape,
Yeah, 10 days is a while.
It's a long time. It's kind of a wild amount of time to trap these people in a house together unless they are like truly escaping within a very reasonable, like, impressive way. And it's like, that's a lot to expect from these people. But it is fun to watch.
Interesting. Okay, that is a fun twist. That's a fun twist on some of these.
Yeah, it's like, a little bit of a different font, but heavily enjoyable.
All right. Okay, I'm in.
Hell
okay,
yeah.
Hulu.
How are you doing, my friend?
I am here.
Great.
I'm alive. And that is, that's a win. That's a win this week.
That's huge.
Yeah. I was trying to come up with something this week that was not, that was something fresh and fun and funky.
Mm-hmm.
And not, oh, look, she's talking about a dropout or a new girl again.
Sure.
And I was very excited to see that Vogue dropped their making of for the Met Gala issue. And
we're so back.
This is new for me because even though I do tend to watch some of the content from the Met Gala, I'm not a fashion girly by any sense of the means.
Sure.
And I'm by no means like a Vogue supporter or anything.
Sure.
But this year's theme, when I found out that it was dandyism, I was like locked in immediately. And seeing this behind the scenes making of for the Met Gala issue, it's like a 21-minute video that Vogue posted this week, was incredibly engaging. And I ate it up. I enjoy the Met Gala for the sense of the museum component. There is the like bread and circuses part of like watching people and critiquing if they're aligned to the theme or not that I do also enjoy. But this theme of dandyism is very intriguing, and I'm looking forward to seeing how folks will do it. The video, though, I thought was amazing, mainly because, one, I did learn some new things on there, which I appreciated. One of the professors in there, Monica Miller, talks a lot about how they decided on this exhibit, which I really appreciated. But then they brought in a lot of the co-chairs to talk about their experiences as well. A lot of faces that I knew and were familiar with. And it was great. I had an amazing time watching it. I learned a lot about dandyism that I was not previously familiar with. Got to see a lot of these amazingly talented and beautiful people show the fuck out. But I also I'm a slut for a documentary. Give me a behind the scenes. Tell me about how this photo shoot was made. Give me 5 minutes of Law Roach talking about how they filmed this issue and took it. And give me more. I'm sad.
Peek behind the curtain. I want to be in there. I want to see it.
I was very interested.
No, I'm very excited. Yeah.
I knew very little about some of the specific origins. One of the people that I knew from TikTok that folks were talking about, but I had never learned more about, was Dapper Dan, who gets quite a bit of a feature in this. And I didn't know. And it was great to be able to learn more. And I'm excited to be able to see what folks actually come to the Met Gala with. I always have very low standards for some of these celebrities over the last few years.
Yeah, this is one of those where it's like, I hope people, because there's a lot of people who kind of phone it in, right? And it's like, okay, it's cool that you're there, but at what cost, right? And especially as of late when these themes have been, and they always are in reference to history or movements of art or history and anything in general, but like, especially recently of things that are very like, sort of giving flowers to parts of history, and particularly fashion history, that haven't been as properly cemented as such. I would hope that some people would be like, hey, what if we tried a little bit for this one though, right? Because like, and it's a great prompt. Like, it's an amazing prompt that you could do so many different things with too. It is incredibly vast and like specific.
No, for real. And I think over the last couple of years, some of the themes have been fairly explicit on like, do this thing. But I would argue for this theme, it is so clear of what to do. And this video, especially when they're talking about it, they give such explicit examples of like, here is what you do. Here is exactly how you follow it. Here's how we did it for this issue for Vogue.
Right.
And I'm like,
we made this easy for you.
No, literally.
If you were confused, we got you.
Here is exactly what to follow. And I would imagine if you had started this process months ago, when the theme dropped, you would do that. But if one more fucking person shows up in a Shein, a bodycon dress, I'm gonna freaking lose it. Not only because it's distasteful to an event that is supposed to, like, support art history, but it's like, this is about, specifically this word of dandyism is, like, specifically towards Black identity. So, like, what the fuck?
Right.
Dude?
Yeah.
Anyways, I learned a lot. It was great to see people that I really enjoy getting to celebrate themselves and their culture. And they looked beautiful, and these immaculately tailored items. And it was great. And I'm very much looking forward to it. It's the first Monday in May, so we got a little bit of time when this drops.
Hell yeah. I'm so excited. Gonna be watching like the Super Bowl.
Yes.
This is my Super Bowl.
Yes. I always like to watch it in my sweatpants and be like, I could have done better than this.
Yeah.
But for a
and
lot
that's
of
our
them,
God-given right.
Exactly. 100%. We have two very interesting films to talk about this week. I am so excited. Where do you want to start? You want to talk about Rob? You want to talk about our fancy movie that's out right now? Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Sinners.
Okay.
Just for the record, to have it on the record.
Yes.
And also, neither of us have seen this yet, but this weekend, people are up and at 'em, heading to that damn movie theater to see 70mm IMAX.
Yes.
And I fucking love that. I'm seeing the energy. It's incredibly infectious. Because I remember hearing stuff about this. I don't remember if I knew, like, the plot or anything of it until, like, recently. But it has been much more of an organic thing the last few days / week of people really getting excited and being like, we're moving for this one. So 100%. I'm intrigued.
I mean, it has all of the characteristics of shit that we're into outside of this podcast. We got Ryan, we got Michael B. Jordan, we got a horror film with a great ass soundtrack set in the past. I'm in it. We got a villain that's supposedly Irish, so okay, locked in. So great. The thing is that when I started finding out about this, both from promotional content that started going on my feed, and then I apparently when I almost said gag order, that's so funny. What the fuck is it called? I mean, it kind of is a gag order. When journalists aren't supposed to talk about it, and then they're allowed
the embargo?
The embargo, yeah. The fancy gag order.
Sure,
Stopped, all of the stuff that I was seeing about when the embargo stopped, and then the promotional stuff, I was seeing Ryan talking about it being set in the past. I didn't see anyone leading with the fact that it was vampires.
Right, and that's huge. That's huge for us.
Critical, because I would have watched it anyways. I love Ryan Coogler's shit, but if it's vampires, then I need to talk about it for work.
Right. This is business now.
Right. Now I have to be duly interested. Everyone that I have seen across all different audiences that I am engaged with have said amazing things about this.
Yeah.
Which, thank you, Ryan, for bringing film back.
Right. Cinema is so back. We're here. People are showing.
Yeah.
We're back.
It looks amazing. I have not seen it yet. I look forward to it. I know folks are saying specifically that in IMAX, specifically on the 70mm film, I'm assuming not only because it's big, but there's probably something with, like, the ratios changing, I would imagine.
Yeah,
that's
for
why.
sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Listen, Ryan, I can't, okay?
Right.
If you bring it to my home, or you make it safe, I will. I'll happily do it. But I'm just going to have to watch it at home. And that's going to have to be that. But it's not because I don't want to support you.
Yeah.
Also, apparently there's, if people do end up going to see this, that Ryan used to work in the MCU, so you apparently have to stay for the end credits. I've seen multiple people on TikTok say that. So don't leave until the movie theater workers kick you out or the lights turn on. Yeah. That's all I know. Our third guest of this podcast, Justin
He's Kroll. Back, baby.
Deadline has him on that Robert Pattinson beat.
Yeah.
There's an amazing collaboration happening here with Zoe and Rob. Could you tell the class about it?
Oh my gosh. Yes, this is an update on how to save a marriage, which is one of the many, many things that Rob is currently involved in. This is one he's also producing for Sony. But allegedly, there are talks in which our girl, Zoë Kravitz, might direct this movie.
Hell yeah.
I would love to see it.
I need to actually sit down and do a count on how many things he is actually working on right now.
Yeah, I keep losing track. And all the titles, they're not very similar, but they all are, like, operating in the same space in my brain, so they kind of get mush in there, for sure. But this is one of them.
It is... I need to do that, because I think it's at least 10.
Yeah.
And that's wild to me. It is also wild. I know that this is how time works, but to see it written out this way...
Yeah.
I did not realize that the Batman came out 3 years ago. That's a long time.
What do you mean 2022? That seems incorrect. What? Well, listen, they're taking their time, okay?
They want to make sure you really want it.
Yeah. I also do love this because, and we'll talk about this when we talk about Mickey 17 for our bonus this month, but I never saw Blink twice, but that was, Zoë Kravitz's directorial feature debut that came out like last year or something. But that stars Naomi Ackie, who is like the main protagonist in Mickey 17 with Robert.
Amazing.
So it's all connected.
A lot of gifts from that movie.
Yeah.
And she's so pretty.
She's so pretty. It's unreal.
I'm so looking forward to watching it.
Yeah.
This episode...
Fucking...
I haven't been so pissed about an episode of the Vampire Diaries in a minute.
Listen, it's good for us to return to form and just spend an hour complaining about men and their choices in media, right? Like, it just feels right and correct. Because this episode had me fucking gnawing at my enclosure. Derogatory. Not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Because I was so fucking peeved at every man that walked on my screen.
And there were so many of them.
Too many. Oh, God.
It would have been less painful for me to just pull my eyes out of their socket than to watch this episode. And then to find out at the end that it was just a fucking part 1.
Yeah. They got our asses, that's for sure.
I'm so done. I'm so... I did need the flashback though, to remember that fucking Jeremy ripped his shirt off last week.
He's tatted up, yeah.
He's so tatted up, and then Cole died, rip. So that's important. Oh yeah, and then also Klaus is in the glass case of emotions, like a fucking Tumblr girly.
Yeah.
We have been talking for weeks now. Where's Caroline? Where is she? These motherfuckers are gonna bring her back just to use her as a plot device?
It, like, first of all, disrespect, right? That was early season 1, Caroline. You're gonna do that?
No, exactly.
To mid-season, 4? Come on now. Be so fucking for real. What's wrong with you? And also, and we keep saying this with her and the Klaus thing, because I know they're fucking teasing it, but like every single time they allude to that or talk directly to it in this, it just does not feel natural or warranted.
No.
At all.
Especially
I don't believe it. Sorry. I don't believe it.
No. I don't either. And any time that Caroline references it, it has been when she is under duress.
Right.
When she has referenced it at the grill, it was when she was trying to convince, like, distract Klaus and convince him to do something. In this episode, I would imagine the people that ship them took this as gospel. I got it as, hey, I'm dying.
Right.
I have 2 breaths left. And I'm going to appeal to your senses and say that you're not a bad guy. You're just someone who's been hurt. Typical incel behavior, by the way. And I know that you love me. And save me, please. You're just, you know, anyone who's capable of loving someone is capable of being saved. And then she literally died. Like, that's not her confessing feelings. That's just someone under duress. That'd be like her signing a contract. She's not doing it out of her own free will. Listen, I'm not gonna, you can't make me believe it. I'm not going to. And it's not even just out of some, like, resistance to it. I see that the 2 actors have chemistry. They're 2 pretty people. But I can't. Caroline deserves more than that.
Yeah. First of all, that is a lesbian. So, get that figured out.
I literally just paused to take a drink of water and almost broke my whole fucking setup. I agree with you, though. I'm 100%.
Yeah. Come on, let's be serious, okay?
100%.
I know Klaus is pretty, but that's not happening. I don't believe it. I don't trust it. I don't like it.
Nope. That's not a straight woman.
No. Also, I just love too that this episode and their cheesy little intros this season, where it's like, oh man, we finally have everything we need. Everything's going according to plan, which I'm like, if anyone in this crew is saying that, that means it couldn't possibly go worse, right? The confidence is not, I don't love that, because y'all are not good at plans. And if you have allegedly everything you need to get the cure, I don't think you do, bud. I think you're gonna whiff it real bad.
It shocks me that there are 2 in this gaggle of wild people, and I can't do the math off my head, but I think there's like 8 of them that go to this island, to Spooky Island, to find the cure. There's 3 humans, and I'm saying that in quotes because one is a hunter. So he's kind of charged up. And then we got Bonnie, who's a witch. So again, we got some powers there. And then there's Shane, who's got the power of male confidence on his side. Derogatory.
Right.
So he's the only, like, real vulnerable one there.
Yeah.
Why, in a group that is mostly vampires here, can none of you fucking spot any of these traps in the woods? You can't smell the metal. You can't hear the shots of the arrows coming at your way. Why?
Yeah.
I will never let up on these writers for just casually deciding every episode if they're going to have super senses or not. It kills me.
Yeah.
What do you mean that you almost got hit, Elena, by this, like, spiked bear trap? You're a vampire.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
How is that possible?
And also, I know that this is part of the whole thing, so it's not a surprise, but, like, why do vampires need to sleep? What? I know that this had to work with the whole episode of, like, we need tension and stuff, and they needed to go find that, like, Spring Breakers cabin. But why the fuck are we pausing and setting up tents?
You got shit to do, my guys.
You're immortal.
Yeah, you're fine.
Right. I cannot. I'm so confused about all of it. It just, and also finding out about Shane.
This nasty, nasty boy. I'll kill him. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm so sick of this man being like, listen, there's a couple things I didn't tell you. I may have other plans brewing. And using Bonnie as, like, a failsafe for him, because it's like, oh, my wife and my son, they died. And it's really tragic. But, like, if I have, like, a little bit of blood, I can see her and I can feel her and she can come back. Meh, 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 meh. And it's like, oh, but you guys don't trust me, obviously. You shouldn't. So I made it so that Bonnie is essentially a time bomb that only I have, like, the access key to dismantle. And so if I die, she dies, and so you're fucked. And I fucking hate him. I hate this man.
They spent so much of this episode doing the flashback to him prior to this mission. And it felt like they wanted me to have sympathy for Shane.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Right. That's impossible. I'm sorry.
I get it. I think that there's a little bit that's interesting to pre-well Shane. Like, I thought that the line about him not being able to serve meat at their wedding, I thought that was a really interesting line that they included. But I'm so disgusted by his actions that I'm not interested in this now, especially when the whole thing, honestly, I'm more interested in his wife, unfortunately, and heard, because it doesn't feel like his wife, it obviously feels like silent, like, and he doesn't get that, which sucks for him, I guess, but the idea that it's like, oh, well, I'm absolved from this guilt, because I didn't do it. I just had to convince and manipulate people into thinking that they could see their loved ones again.
My hands are clean, y'all. Right. They wanted to do it. Did I heavily, heavily manipulate them into delusion? Sure. But what happens after that? That's on them, my guy. Sorry. I didn't blow up the barn. Or the, what was it? The church, whatever. Yeah. That whole thing. He thought he could see his late love or whatever and get that back. And then obviously,
nasty.
You know,
it's very
what
much
the fuck is
like,
wrong with you?
I didn't kill them, I just gave them the gun excuse.
Yeah.
And that's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you didn't just give them the gun, you pointed it into their mouth and just, like, tripped. So, like, you technically shot it off, but, like, you kind of did every other step leading up to it, though, my guy.
I hate his logic. I hate the idea that it has to be in threes, and Damon, you know, notable, able to see patterns. Damon is like, so the farm was April's dad, and the farm was one. Yep. Haley and the hybrids was the second. Where's the third? And Shane, metaphorically, because he is tied up, he's like twiddling his fingers at this point. And Damon,
it's like, oh, you haven't caught on.
He's like, oh, is that why you brought us all here? And fucking Shane's like, well, no, of course not. Bitch, I just... Don't piss me
But, like,
off.
if we can do two birds with one stone, that'd be pretty sick, don't you think?
Right.
We could all win here. Except if people are dead. But...
But Damon can't lock in at this point because he's been crashing out this whole episode on The Cure, TM.
Mm-hmm.
And Shane getting into his head in this moment about... Because he didn't tie up his mouth. He let Shane talk.
Mm-hmm.
And Shane, his whole thing is that he has the power of words. Like, he's a manipulator. And so him looking at Damon and telling him, like, hey, bud, when are you going to realize, right? Like, you know, you're torturing yourself in this moment, and don't stay here and watch Elena walk away from you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Someone vocalized Damon's fears in front of him. Yeah. It's just... It's not good. It's not... Things are not going well in the camp of Damon right now.
Yeah.
Because... Hey, Elena. Real talk. Can we sidebar for a second? Why the fuck would you think that Damon would ever take the cure? Why have you fundamentally misunderstood his whole thing?
Right.
What about his humanity and his life made you think, like, oh, that's something he wants to go back to?
Yeah, like, that was really cool the first time, for sure. And it's so fucked, too, of being, like, obviously this whole relationship, like, we can't even enjoy it, right? Because there's just, like, too much tied into it that feels like not fully everyone's on the same page, right?
Yeah.
And just even the idea that if she takes the cure and the sire bond is broken and she'll still have all of her feelings, which could very well be true, but Damon is not gonna also do that. Like, he's kind of figured out his role in things, and it's like, no, this is kind of what I just gotta do, right? If this is how it is, it's how it is. And you're gonna get old, and I'm just gonna be plucky Damon this whole time, you know? And with Stefan, who now is saying that he's gonna take it, if he does take it, for himself and not Elena, which, okay, sure, boss, totally.
Yeah, man.
For sure. Totally believe you. Rebecca's totally like, yeah,
Yeah, okay, buddy.
Sure. Yeah, you just said you wanted to have, like, babies and stuff, though, right? And, like, live together forever in old age, but okay, for you, totally. Absolutely. No other motives here. Got it.
I'm dying over this, because on one hand, I loved Rebecca this episode.
Yeah.
I loved the eclipse energy that it was giving between her and Elena. I love when they hold knives against each other. I love when she grabs Elena's throat. They need to just kiss and make up.
Yeah, for real.
It pisses me off that Elena can't see what's right in front of her. It annoys me.
Yeah.
The other thing is, on the other hand, what's pissing me off about Rebecca's character is I think that I disagree with the writers on one point. I disagree that even though Rebecca fundamentally wants to take the cure, she doesn't like being a vampire. I agree with all of that, right? She's a true, like, capital L lover at heart. Yes.
Yeah.
What I disagreed with, and what really took me out of this episode, was when they got to that, like, Spring Breakers cabin, she heard something in the woods, and she jumped and grabbed Stefan. What?
Yeah.
You are an original. Like, you are the most powerful person in this group right now. Stand up.
Right. Yeah. Come on, girl. Like, I know you want to be normal, quote-unquote normal, whatever, but it's like, you are way more powerful and cool and, like, understanding of what is actually going on here. I need you to get, Stefan is not your savior.
No.
Nor is he good at anything, right?
You're going to give that
especially when it
power
comes to being a vampire.
Stefan, of all people?
Yeah.
Ew.
Come on. Don't do that to his ego. No.
God. That's definitely.
It's already too big for his britches. Come on. Jesus. Get up. Get up.
I feel like they're trying to do the Rosalie thing of like, oh, I don't want this. I'm just a girl. But Rosalie had the thing of like, no, fuck you. Like, I'm a badass and I need Rebecca to stand up. Like, she got a little bit, and it was really just that moment, because most of the other parts of the episode when she's at Elena's throat and it's like, I need you to remember that I'm not evil by nature. You killed 2 of my brothers and I have every right to hate you. And she's like, oh shit, my bad. That it was just that moment that kind of took me out of it, and I just need them to kiss, okay? It's pissing me off.
For sure. And, like, it's just an interesting point, too, to her of being like, listen, y'all can act as if I'm, like, big bad number 1 here, but, like, we're doing the same shit. Like, we are not that different. You can mentally justify it in your head the same way that I can mentally justify in my head, and I will, right? And, like, if you think for any reason that what you're doing is more holier or nobler than what I'm doing, like, you're fucking Delulu. Sorry. Like, get over it.
It is disappointing. She did have some really good quips this episode that I enjoyed. There was one early on that was like, Elena, why are you here? You're the least valuable person in this group. Damon can stay because he has a nice ass, but you're boring and useless. And I love her.
She's so good. Oh, there's also a really great moment at the beginning of this when, and fuck Shane, but when he was offering everyone sunscreen.
I died when he handed Damon sunscreen, because are you kidding me? You forgot
so
that
fucking funny. So funny.
They're
your whole thing is like, you know everything about all of these supernatural creatures, and your wife was a witch or whatever, and you're like, hey bud, you need to top off. It's a little sunny out here. You just gotta protect yourself. Skincare's just bad, okay? So it's just so fucking good.
Oh god. The beginning of this was so nice too, because everyone was just kind of vibing. Bonnie taking photos of Jeremy shirtless. It was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, for research, for studying.
Yeah. And then finding out more lore about the witch and her turning Silas immortal, and then Silas being like, so anyway, fuck you and your whole thing. I'm gonna go off with this other girl. No wonder she buried him alive.
Yeah.
I get it.
I support women's wrongs.
Exactly. And I understand why Bonnie would be interested in this magical well that lets you talk to people that are dead. Yeah. Because that's her whole thing. That's why Shane was interested in her. I get why Shane a year ago did it. I don't agree with it. I think that it was a silly idea.
Sure.
And the well that he descended into is not the one that he was at the bottom of that we saw, which I think that if he remembered, his memory would maybe be a little suspicious of Silas and his whole thing, but oh well. I'm nervous about Bonnie and how she is potentially related to the witch. They kind of alluded to that a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Which I have questions about. I'm also unsure about the indigenous population that's on this island and why Shane is in cahoots with them. Like, why did Jeremy need to get got during this?
Right.
Which I have questions about. The other thing that I wrote down this episode that was funny, by the way, is that we found out that this is more the actor and less the character. We got to see that Tyler has his ears pierced.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just feel like that's a really important thing to mention, that like somehow between And that after his mom dying in his grief, that he went and got his ears pierced, and I think that's really important for people to know.
Listen, we all grieve in different ways, and I think, too, he's like, listen, Jeremy gets to have cool tattoos now. Yeah. I want to look, I want to look tough. And I love, too, that, like, listen, is Tyler an important character to me at all at this point? No. However, I do like that now he's sort of serving a role that is just to be a little bitch to Klaus. And that's kind of it. He's just gonna be like, listen, you killed my mom, so I'm gonna be really annoying to you for, like, the rest of your life. And I can get really annoying, and that's just what it is. Right. And it's great. I'm like, hell yeah, that's a valid punishment, for sure. For sure. Just be like, fuck it. You can't, I'll always be here, bitch. And I'm gonna make you really, really annoyed with me. And I love that. That's all you need to do.
I think that's great. If we're going to have to...
That's a great use of everyone's time. And I genuinely mean that.
No, I think it's great. Because we didn't get to see Matt. Apparently Matt didn't make the cut for going on this island adventure.
God, after all that training, too.
I know.
Playing all those video games. He was out hunting, eating pizza. God.
But if we're going to have to see Tyler here... The least that he can do is just really get on Klaus's nerves, and I do appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. I love, too, that Klaus is like, do you remember that I made his life really a lot easier so he doesn't have to change all the time? And it's like, okay, yeah, I think that got immediately trumped by the fact that you killed his mom. So that... Sorry, I think the math is not really in your favor on that one. But love and light. God bless. Whatever helps you sleep at night, brother.
I really enjoyed before it got annoying, right? But the sass between Tyler and Klaus this episode was very enjoyable.
It's really good
to me.
It's really good.
I am very intrigued by this other hunter that is up in the mix.
Yeah.
I guess I did not realize that there was that was an option.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my bad, first of all.
Sorry, I didn't think that was part of this, but listen. All right, we got new blood out here.
Yeah, I guess I am just unclear on where this gets resolved in the next episode, because Damon obviously is not interested in moving things forward with Elena. He has decided to cut things off at the past rather than wait to see what would happen. Elena found out in that conversation that Stefan is interested in taking the cure, which she did not know prior.
Right.
So interesting. But also, Shane has all of the components that he needs to raise Silas, the Antichrist.
Yeah. Right.
Yikes.
I can't believe, because these fools, right? But like the way that he was just able to dip real easily with Bonnie and Jeremy, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, where'd they go?" It's like, what have you been doing? We can't trust this person, and that's your brother, and also people that you love in your life. Like, what are we doing? And the fact that Rebecca has to be like, snap out of it, you motherfuckers. Like, I will work with you because, like, you're the only people left here and everyone else just, like, fucked off to do demonic shit instead of helping us or whatever. But, like, y'all are fools and losers. How dare you?
I know that it had to happen for the story or whatever. It just seems wild that if Jeremy is the key, right? Like, if he has the map for all of this, why was he sleeping in a tent alone?
Yeah.
Why was he left unattended to be God?
Yeah.
But sure, let that happen, I guess.
Why not? I suppose. While we're here, let's just...
I'm nervous. It's obviously not going to end well because everyone seemed so confident going into this. So it has to
Nothing can possibly go wrong.
But next week is episode 14 and is titled Down the Rabbit Hole, which does not go well.
Yeah.
I can only hope that the chain does not leave this island.
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
Because I'm kind of done with his whole thing, and I would like him to not be around Bonnie anymore. That would be nice.
Yeah, I need it so bad.
That is my wish that I'm putting forth. We have some amazing patrons. Would you like to kick us off with thanking them?
Absolutely. Thank you to Greg Lautner.
Ooh, thank you to April Dobrev.
Ooh, thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Ooh, thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ow. Thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh, thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ow. Thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh, thank you to Janae Bennett.
Ooh, thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh, thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ow. Thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ooh, and last but certainly not least, thank you to Jaylene Ivashkov.
Pew, 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 pew.
I have a fanfiction for you.
Thank God.
I think that I have featured this author before, but I am pretty sure that I have not done this fanfiction before.
Okay.
This is by the author Maddie X Hatter, and the fanfiction is titled Let Me In.
Great.
The summary is, the dream was always the same. Elena is being haunted by a reoccurring dream. The dream is always the same except for when it isn't. And it features Elena and Rebecca.
Okay.
There's only one chapter. Her dream was always the same. Elena wished her legs would carry her up the stairs faster, the sooner to reach the French windows and the woman on the balcony. Her heart pounded, even as the same sluggish pace carried her past the closed door of her own room, through the corridor which led her to her father's study. The orange light of oil, burning, was soon met with the light of the full moon, icy as it pushed through the glass, filling the room with a cold, unfeeling light. She waited, and was rewarded with the woman's appearance, blue eyes transfixing her on the spot as they sang to her of magic and moonlight. When the woman's eyes released her, her gaze fell upon soft, pink lips, desperately straining to hear the words falling from them. Then, something new. Elena saw the woman's hand, reaching out to touch the glass, and to her surprise, found her own hand there already, pressed to meet one another. The moment stretched on, but it was still all too soon that she blinked and found herself sitting in her own bed, the familiar tragic feeling of longing edged out by the claws of desire, which she felt dragging through the soft flesh of her pounding heart. End scene.
Okay.
They just need a kiss. I don't think that it will end them fighting, but I think that it might help something.
Yeah.
That's my pitch. Sharks, what do you think?
I love it. Yeah. Listen, I'm asking for these two for 10% stake in my happiness.
And yes, and mostly my happiness. Well, friends, I have a new show to watch. So I'm going to go be busy right now. Thank you, Hulu, for your service. Tell your friends about the show, especially because I'm very much looking forward to our bonus episode this month.
Yes.
Since we've been talking about Mickey 17 for literally years at this point.
It's finally happening. We're doing it.
And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
Ooh.
Ow.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/intothetwilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.